Hey, y'all. Welcome to SLOP. I'm your friendly neighborhood organizer, Austin, and I'm here tonight with J Money, Red Mike.
Hello, comrades.
Yeah, and we are one of the only socialist podcasts in Alabama and the most unprofessional podcast in the land, maybe the known universe. And here we're going to do a few trends. What's on some trends going on there, and then some national news, some international news, and try to end with something fun. Uh, so yeah, you how you hanging?
I'm doing good. My power went out last week, which is why I was abruptly thrown off the podcast. But they got it restored within a couple of hours, but it was too late by that time, of course. Um, I went to a church event earlier tonight, and there was a trivia contest, which my team won. So
Woo! I love me some trivia.
I do too. I'm like the trivia ringer, and I'm super competitive about it. I probably sucked all the fun out of the room because I was like, "We have to win. We have to win."
Then me and you need to definitely team up whenever we have a social and get something like that happening. Um, I got to play some trivia out in Afghanistan with a whole bunch of Brits, and I'd done a trivia thing before, kind of. Uh, Google has ruined pub trivia. Yeah, yeah, no phones, dude. That's lame. But the Brits, like, they do it. I mean, they had it going on. They had like pitchers to like pass out, and like all kinds of different rounds, and like you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't just like asking a question, there was a bit more to it. So yeah, if you yeah, I love me some team trivia. But
Yeah.
but welcome, comrade, our Canadian comrade. I need to make you a mod. Uh, let's see if I can figure out how to do that in the course of this day. But yeah, well, let's get rolling. Um, Congratulations on your victory. Well deserved.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
So yeah, we're gonna just get right to it. Boom, is YouTube down? Well, I guess not. I guess it's not down.
Doesn't seem
Uh,
to be.
no. I'll try not to drink too much. Uh, do as you will. Do as you will. I had to put that stuff down a while ago. So, but no
Let me tell you.
judgments here.
Yeah, like other people, I have no objection to other people enjoying themselves, but I had to quit drinking as well. It's been
Yeah.
2 years for me.
Nice. Nice. Well done. Oh no, Dennis Quaid is trending. We've had a lot of. Okay. Okay. All right. So no, I was worried it might be another celebrity gone, but didn't wait. Is Dennis Quaid white ringer? A white right winger?
I think that he is.
Yeah, yeah. We've discovered uh what's going on and why the manosphere exists. Because there's a lot of lead and some protein powders out there. Uh, so
There you go.
yeah, if you were always confused about the manosphere, we now have answers. Yeah, he did say he did say some wacky shit. He's a good actor, though. I'll give him that. I'll give him that. That's all I'll give him. We got NBA kicking off. Seeing some. Man, I love Russell Westbrook. He's an awesome player. I mean, he's older now, but he balls. Uh, what else we got going on? Uh, NHL's kicking. Of course, it's the playoffs. What is it called? The baseball playoffs. MLB. I have my Braves aren't in it. I haven't paid attention. I have no clue what's going on, but apparently Toronto beat the Yankees. So, uh, yes.
I root for anybody who's playing against the Yankees in baseball. Like if you're playing the
Oh,
Yankees, then you are my team.
boom. We got a live update right here. Jays are up 5-2. Finish them. Yeah.
So here's hoping Toronto takes them.
Got Jacksonville State football. UAB got rid of their coach this week. Jacksonville State, that's from around my neck of the woods. I went there for about a semester. I guess they're playing tonight against Delaware. Yeah. And what country we want to look at? Uh, let's see. Uh, Venezuela.
Let's do
If you
something like
haven't heard, Trump has authorized CIA operations in Venezuela. Why don't we see what's going on in Venezuela? It's always nice to hear, isn't it?
oh yeah, the CIA's on the case. So it's either going to be the biggest cluster known to man, or else a whole bunch of people are going to get whacked, or both.
Yeah, yeah. Patria. Hold on one second. What's up, Will?
Yeah.
Y'all are both going? All right. Okay, sorry about that. Duties were required of me. Patria, country? What's that mean?
Fatherland.
Fatherland. Thank you. When I was a kid, I was the dumb kid. Over here, I was a smart kid. I have a much better education system. Yeah, well, I'm wholly disgusted by Alabama's education system for sure. I can't speak too much on other states, but I do know that if I recall correctly, there's something like a 40% functionally illiterate rate among adults in this country.
Wow.
Yeah, that's got to change. That's got to change. Oh, here we go. We found it. CIA is trending in Venezuela. So yeah, they're aware of it too. Whew. But they're partying. Look, we got Prime Video, music, some Missy Elliott, Victoria's Secret fashion show. I don't know who
What?
Barbie Ferreira is. Yeah, all these, uh, you know, that Victoria's Secret and the Les Wexner Epstein connection is definitely put a different vibe on the whole thing now. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't know about that.
Oh yeah, Lex Wexner and Epstein, and yeah, this is a so we'll talk more about Epstein one of these days. Maybe if Mike Johnson ever gets swears in that the Arizona Congress.
I'd like to hear all of
Yes, thank you. But here we go. Let's see. Moving on, we got. Look, man, the Zach D films ain't up there, but missing them. But what do we got? What do we got going on? Fish and Grit sounds like a good ass song from Honeycomb Brazy. Got some movie trailers. Corey Extension. Yeah. The shooting the boats is ridiculous. And in my opinion, a crime. And the opinion, I think the New York bar actually came out with a statement about that and basically called it murder.
Wow. Well, I mean, summary execution at sea. That's basically what it is.
Yeah. Pirate rules. NBA 2K coming out. Season 2 trailer. Okay. Oh, great. Asmongold's up there. He's called for the execution of summary execution. Speaking of protesters, out in the street. Oh, we got Chris Hemsworth coming out with. He's gonna be He-Man. All right, I can see that. Yeah, exactly. Extrajudicial murder. What else we got going on? And yep, more the fashion show right here. Let's see. We're gonna look at what's going on in the politics. Where are you at? There you are. Exposing China's chemical weapons sold at gas stations. This is Sean Ryan fella. You ever heard of him?
Nope.
He's
behind the 8 ball here, or behind the curve rather.
Military what are you, ex-military podcaster dude. Of course, Barry Weiss.
Who's now the head of CBS. I wonder what John Oliver has to say about her.
It was good. It was a good one. I love me some John Oliver. But she's a goober. She's a goober, man. Yeah, there are a lot of Sean Ryans out there.
Everybody has a podcast.
Huh?
I said everybody has a podcast.
Yeah. Very Black Mirror situation with it too. But yeah, Barry Weiss, who sucks.
Is a bad person.
She has a university she opened up in Austin, unaccredited.
I knew about that.
With the that uses the Chatham House rules, which is like you can't talk about what it's like some Fight Club shit. Like you can't talk about what you talk about. You can only talk about it like when they're in session. Some cult, that sounds like some cult shit.
Yep.
Like some Synanon. This is CNN. This sounds like she sucks. Trish Regan. But I mean, CNN does kind of suck. They edited the hell out of that video with Stephen Miller saying that Trump had plenary authority.
Right. They just let him get away with it, freezing like that.
Yeah. Well, but then they uploaded a clip, but they had him with a totally different answer. Like after that, they asked him again and let him say whatever again. Totally different answer. Yeah. Some skull and bone shit. Lefty's losing it. Oh, this Sky News Australia, she sucks. If you ever seen her, I don't know what her name is, but I've seen clips of her. SNL only makes Kristi Noem look cooler.
Yeah, I bet.
No.
Press X to doubt.
Yeah. Yeah. Some Daily Show. This is 2 weeks ago. But you know. Yeah, the Dems should hold the line. I know people are suffering out there, and it sucks. And all of us on a level are suffering, and they will not stop. They will not stop pushing and clawing and trying to fuck shit up, we all have to take a stand and take our licks, and you know what I'm saying. But everybody's risk matrix is a little different, and you need to operate within that risk matrix. But all this is already sucking for folks. 75% of folks are paycheck to paycheck now, which is like a 10% jump since last year. And it's only going to get worse as there's more tariffs coming. There's more bullshit down the road that they're not going to stop with till they have everything. Trump got another physical. Was this insane gunfight in Brooklyn nightclub? Sure. I don't know who this Doug Sharp is. He looks. Might. Are they manipulating headlines? Yes, they are. But yeah, so let's the 9/11 files from cover up to conspiracy, episode 4. Tucker Carlson.
Like the Tarleton. Yep.
I might have to watch some of that. I want to see what he says. Yeah, the GOP are out there every day trying to blame the Democrats for the shutdown, and it's obviously the Republicans' fault.
Right.
And their lies aren't working. We got some stuff trending on Twitter. Let's see here. Wow, mostly English today. The fashion show. YouTube down, obviously. It took a lick today. Bella Hadid. Who's that now? That sounds familiar.
I don't know. It's the internet. She's an American model who's made 35 appearances on international Vogue covers.
Well, good for her.
Yep.
I thought she, for some reason, she sounds like a lawyer that Trump would hire with no actual experience or credentials in some, position in the administration, which keep hiring those fuckers, more YouTube. And yeah, Missy's okay. Missy, I hear you. And yeah, so that's what we got trending over here.
I wonder what Corinthians is trending.
Oh,
it's a soccer thing.
Of course, so yeah. Whenever we bet on something that's trending, a soccer thing. Oh, free Turkestan. Okay. Oh yeah, shout out Madagascar. They've had another coup.
Yeah, it makes me a little bit nervous whenever the military is in charge of things. But young people seem to have risen up against the corrupt government, and the military says they're going to have elections and they're going to get a prime minister elected. So we'll see how that goes. I'm watching that situation.
Yeah, and I learned what is it, Malagasy? Is that how they refer to the name of their people? Malagasy.
Malagasy, I thought was the name of the language.
Okay. So Malagasy maybe. Anyway, it's not Madagascarian. Just to be clear.
Right. It's Malagasy in French and a couple of other languages as well that I don't recall.
No. So where do we want to run? We want to hit national, international. What are you chomping at the bit on?
So do we want to start with these Republican kids?
Let's do it.
We'll get into Israel in a minute.
From Politico. A chat has been leaked. Folks, the group chat will always get leaked, but keep at it. Keep fucking at it.
Yep.
And happy that y'all are having them. But the second and third world aren't as cynical and fatalist as us. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I,
I don't know what it would take for Americans to really rise up in a way that would actually make the government do something. And I'm not talking about like a violent January 6th style revolution type situation or insurrection type situation. I'm talking about just like civil disobedience for an extended period of time and marching in the streets. That's how they did it in Madagascar and Nepal. Like, what would it take to get people to do that? I don't know. I think people are too comfortable.
there is some of that, but that doesn't line up with the material conditions, right? And maybe just the
Yeah.
material conditions have to get worse um, for that to really start taking effect and happening.
I just think
Yeah.
about what the French would be doing in our situation. Like,
Well, and that's not to say that not people aren't doing things. You know what I
of
mean?
course they are.
Because
Yeah.
it's just like it feels like it's not enough or it's not working or and I think a lot of that has to do with you know reporting and things like that and like this general narrative from corporate media, billionaires media. Yeah, I love Hitler, but Palestinian rights is anti-Semitic. So yeah, so this article, a lot of fucked up shit in it, boy. A lot of fucked up shit.
So yeah, they use racial slurs. They use slurs against LGBT people. Um, they use terms for African Americans that I don't even want to repeat.
Mhm.
So they described mass essay of indigenous women as epic. Um, and spoke in favor of slavery.
Hey, lay it out there, folks. Uh, eh, you know, I hope this gets into the mainstream news, but we got JD Vance saying, kids, they're just kids. Uh, the young Republicans group age cutoff is 40 years old.
Right. And a
These
lot of these
aren't.
people had like official positions. Like some of them have lost their jobs. But
Mhm.
let's see. One of them was the chair of the New York Young Republicans. This junta fellow,
Yeah,
Joe Maligno. Um,
there's
Alex Dwyer, the chair of the Kansas Young Republicans, referenced the 1488 number. William Hendricks, the Kansas Young Republicans vice chair, used the N-word and several variations of it more than a dozen times in the chat, and also used homophobic slurs. Annie K. Caddy, a national committee member for the New York State Young Republicans, took part in an exchange about gas chambers and says she's ready to watch people burn now.
Yeah, I think it's this fellow right here. He was like, so he's trying to run to get the national young Republican chair, and he seemed to be the most nasty. You know, top five nastiest motherfuckers in the little chat. Um, you know, um, Peter Guenta, I guess.
Junta.
Junta. Okay. Fucking Peter. Yeah. These young Republicans were raised by edge lords. Yeah. So like we look at I don't know the age of some of the some of them might be early 20s, right? So all they've known is like Trump since like their teenage years, right?
Right. So Junta was the chief of staff to New York State Assemblyman Mike Riley. I think he's not anymore, but he was also the
Right.
chair of the New York State Young Republicans at the time of the chats.
Yeah, there's
So some of them held positions of real influence among Republicans in various capacities. They weren't just members of the Young Republicans. So,
we had one on Trump's staff, Michael Bartels. And of course, this is all being, like JD Vance and other, Congress folks and senators. I don't think I saw a senator's quote, but Republican Congress people, there's no place. Golly gee, this isn't us. All that horse shit. It is very much them. Very much them.
and White House spokesman Liz Houston rejected any link between Trump's rhetoric and the context of the chat, saying only an activist left-wing reporter would desperately try to tie President Trump into a story about a random group chat he has no affiliation with.
Yeah.
No one has been subjected to more vicious rhetoric and violence than President Trump and his supporters. Oh, give me a break.
Oh, all the self-victimization of that Trump does is classic to his personality type.
Well, they have to portray themselves as the victims because that is what justifies like whatever it is that they're planning to do. Like whenever they're coming up with reasons why they have to be in power and why they have to violently put down all opposition, they always have to say we have no choice because we're being attacked unfairly by the left or by whomever.
Yeah. And there's there it is. The Puente guy. Great. I love Hitler. Yeah. And I don't think he's being ironic. I do not.
No, I don't think so either. Like it's one of those halfway people. So first of all, people are half serious when they're joking. That's always true. There's always a little bit of truth to people's jokes. But that's part of the game is to be able to say these things, and then when people get upset about it, say, "Oh, are you triggered? I'm just joking. I'm just playing around. I'm just joking."
Yeah.
Like that's part of the appeal, I think, is to be able to be loose with words and to say whatever you like and laugh at people for getting upset.
Yeah. That's the ploy. Yeah. It's just a joke, bro.
Right.
It's just a joke. They go into they even call Crenshaw Eye Patch McCain. I'm not a big Dan Crenshaw fan for sure, but
I don't. They have some sort of beef with him, and I don't remember why exactly. But the far right has a problem with Dan Crenshaw.
Maybe he has like 1 ounce of compassion or something inside him that he's spoken out. Yeah, I do remember vaguely them getting on him several times, but for the life of me, I cannot remember the details because it is a constant fire hose of bullshit that we are.
And I just kind of don't care what happens to Dan Crenshaw. And if a bunch of people are mad at him on the right and if they're giving him a hard time, like I just can't bring myself to care.
Yeah. Yeah. They support slavery and all that shit. Mega based.
Yeah.
Mega based. Dude, it's just based. Just say based. But yeah, and relatedly to this, we've got a congressman in, let's see, where is he from? I'm just kind of scrolling here, folks. You can pause and read at your leisure, because I basically don't want to say pretty much any of the shit that's in this fucking shit. Oh yeah, they bankrupted the New York Young Republicans bankrupted their organization. So good. But
Wow.
I'm sure there's some fucking billionaire will be there to back them up. But Capitol Police have been called to investigate a swastika in the GOP congressional office of Dave Taylor. I thought it was Dan Taylor. Fuck. I tweeted that earlier. Dave Taylor, a Republican from Ohio. Yeah. So Politico obtained an image during a virtual meeting that shows a flag pinned to what appears to be a cubicle wall on Angelo Alia, one of Taylor's staffers. Alongside the flag, with altered red, white lines in the shape of the swastika, are pinned images, including a pocket constitution that they clearly have never read, and a congressional calendar. It is unclear what role, if any, Alia had in the incident. He did not immediately respond. Yeah. I'm aware of an image that depicts a vile and deeply inappropriate symbol near an employee in my office, Taylor said. The content of that image does not reflect the values or standards of this office, my staff, or myself, and I condemn it in the strongest terms. Sure, buddy. No, Crenshaw wasn't the wheelchair guy. That was, damn.
Madison Cawthorn.
Yeah, who they got rid of pretty quickly after he, said all the debauchery, which I'm guessing that was Matt Gaetz related debauchery as well. Yeah, the famous Indian symbol for progress and good luck. That's yeah. That's what it is. That's what we meant. Uh the that symbol has, yeah, it's a shame the unoriginal, or maybe not, I don't know, but the unoriginality of fascists in how they co-opt symbology is a running theme in, because they are effectively like an empty ideology representing nothing good. Yeah, Hitler stole everything.
And it was
Pretty
based on
much.
this goofy ideology that Germans were Aryans somehow, and that
Yeah.
they, like, he had this entirely mythological history made up. It was almost like, well, I don't want to say that, but he had this entire mythological history made up for the so-called German people that he promulgated, and that's why they adopted the swastika.
Yeah. And Aryans being from India. Am I right in that?
So there's the Indo. I don't know about the ethnicities involved, but the Indo-Aryan language family um, is in India mostly and stretches into what we call Pakistan and a little bit of Afghanistan as well. So
Yeah.
So the Indo-Aryan languages of the predominant languages of today's Bangladesh, Maldives, Nepal, North India, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka. So I guess not Afghanistan.
Hmm. Uh, Very interesting uh, white supremacist theory.
Yeah, it was very goofy.
Yeah. Huh. It says many northern Indians are paler than me. Yeah, there's pale folks everywhere. right? You know, it's most everywhere. Yeah, what hell? So, what do we want to look at next, Jay?
Well, we may as well wait into the ceasefire.
All right, we got from Trump. I, I am the only one that matters. Trump deals praise and insults at the Gaza summit. Self-styled world's greatest peacemaker calls Maloney beautiful and Erdogan a friend, but takes jab at Iraqi and Canadian leaders. Yeah, you know, uh, how much faith you got in this? I don't. I don't have a lot of faith in this.
Faith in what?
This ceasefire deal. I mean, from
Oh,
there's already like the journalist that got killed, and they wiped his Instagram pretty much immediately, and also somehow wiped his uh, uh, wiped what he had on the Internet Archive. I'm curious how they did that.
so Israeli warplanes launched airstrikes on southern Gaza on early Friday morning, supposedly hours after the ceasefire supposedly came into effect. So the CNN and the BBC were among the outlets that reported strikes on the center of Khan Yunis around 5:45 a.m. local time, with people near the Netzarim corridor also describing hearing artillery shelling and gunfire. So there were eyewitness reports of airstrikes and artillery shelling in Gaza City also on Friday morning, especially in the neighborhoods of Al Sabra and Tal Al Hawa. That's according to CNN. A video published by Reuters showed a flash over the sky in Gaza at 5:55 a.m., followed by the sound of an explosion and a black plume of smoke. So,
And the militias that Israel started arming many months ago, they're you know out there taking action as well. Um,
Israel has killed at least 9 Palestinians as the Israeli military warned Gaza residents to stay away from the areas it still occupies.
yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah. There was a group of folks that got too close to, apparently got too close to the wire to, or the yellow line,
the yellow line, they call it, yeah.
and I think was it 6 or 9 of them got killed. Um,
So, and
can't yeah.
supposedly Hamas returned a body of a hostage that was not one of the hostages, and Israel is using that as a pretext to cut the aid flowing into Gaza by half and to not open the Rafah crossing. So I would say the ceasefire is already kind of on shaky terms. It seems to be holding for the most part, even though Israel is flagrantly violating it. And what meanwhile complaining, saying that that Gaza is violating it.
Yeah, there's this weird accident in Egypt where some Qatari folks died in a car crash. It was reported that they were like negotiators, but it appears that they were like security personnel. So just it's pretty weird. Everything related to this is just you got to raise an eyebrow at. I'm sure they had to be dug out from under the rubble. It was crazy pretext. Yeah, they just invent shit. They don't. You got Kushner and who else? Are basically the plan is to uh, turn Gaza into what is it? What do they like to call it? Um, Mar-a-Lago, I guess, a
Right.
beach resort. Yeah.
Well, they have
Um,
this plan for this ruling council that's going to consist of people from other Arabic states, and they claim Palestinians of sufficient experience and education. But what they don't talk about is the people of Gaza being allowed to vote on their leadership. And of course, the whole thing's under a peace council led by Trump.
yeah.
So yeah,
There's
Israel's already violating the peace deal. They started bombing on Friday, hours after it was supposed to have come into contact. They're still occupying like 53% of Gaza. So, I mean, they're still physically there. It's still the play. They're still shooting people who come too close to them. There's reports of bombings and drones in the sky. So I don't have a great deal of faith that this is going to last any longer than any other ceasefire has lasted.
yeah. The only thing I know to do is invade Israel at this point. Uh,
Well, I mean, I think we could start by not arming them.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
able they're able to do a lot of the things that they do because we supply them with weapons and money, and we could turn that spigot off.
Which and they get universal health care and um, education, and then they use the money that comes in to turn back around and uh, funnel it through APAC to buy politicians. It's a great little system that's going on.
But like the last ceasefire that was in place, like Israel violated it like literally 1,000 times.
Yeah, yeah, because Biden during Biden's term last March, I believe,
Yes, I think
uh,
that's right.
it they had a ceasefire in place, and then it was like immediately, uh, you know, violated. And
So the country's still under occupation, even if there is a tenuous ceasefire in place. People who are coming home are going to be coming home to rubble instead of their homes. And like I said, Israel is using the supposedly false body of the hostage to justify cutting aid in half and not opening the Rafah crossing, which they're required to do under the terms of the ceasefire. So they're already in violation of it.
yeah, of course, Trump, he did his weird handshake thing with several people. Uh, Threw a little barb at the Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney. He said, "At least I didn't say governor." Uh, just clown show. So, so the ceasefire that is not really a ceasefire, that is, you know,
Well, I just think
colonial resort deal.
the Palestinians really aren't in a position to insist that the terms of the ceasefire be followed. Like all the cards are in Israel's hands to play. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
as resourceful and as resilient as they are, fighting the world's lone superpower and its pet state.
you know they've been desperate for an excuse, and this is the best they could do.
Exactly. Like they were looking for a pretext to deny aid and to delay or postpone or to indefinitely postpone the opening of the Rafah crossing, and they found something. And if it weren't that, it would have been something else.
Yeah, you know, there have been uh, hostages, prisoners, whatever, released and exchanged. The uh, a lot of the Palestinians saw they can barely walk or not even walk. out of the prisons and stuff. And even let's and this is the thing that, like, even if the ceasefire went in place and they stopped bombing them and they stopped shooting them and the aid was delivered, like, it's not like a peace settlement. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a permanent thing, really. You know, and you mentioned, like, the Palestinians not being able to have a vote to elect officials to manage and run things. Like, is there's not self-determination. Like, even if all this was going perfectly for the Palestinian folks, this fight is far from done. Like, they're, you know, in my opinion, ultimately, like, BDS has to continue and even ramp up more. I hope that nobody buys this bullshit. That, like, the folks in Italy, keep at it. Like, I hope Europe, the European Union, I hope they cut off aid, or cut off not aid, cut off trade with Israel and stuff like that. And it seems like it feels like that will continue, because I don't believe that folks are going to see this and be satisfied with the results. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely not. Would you want to live under a non-democratic government set up by foreigners?
Yeah.
I
see.
So they're rejecting and ignoring Abbas and the Palestinian Authority too. That's right. Like, they're determined that the Palestinian Authority will have absolutely no say or absolutely no role to play in Gaza. So who are they going to tap to be on this council? Like, it's not clear who they're going to pick, but there's going to be emphasis on having rulers from other Arabic states, which is not, I'm sure that everybody's all the same to Trump, but they're not. And they don't want to be ruled by foreigners who happen to be of the same ethnicity and speak the same language they are, any more than Americans would want to be ruled by Canada or Great Britain.
Yeah. They got Tony Blair up there.
Blair.
I think he's on the quote peace council. So,
is he really?
I believe so.
Oh, wonderful.
So there's some other international news going on. The Trump administration has authorized covert CIA action in Venezuela, coming from what do they call sources? Not undisclosed, but sources within the administration. And this goes into a lot of what's going on. The boats being shot up. Of course, Maduro's political rival, who dedicated the Peace Prize to Maduro. Man, fuck the Nobel Peace Prize. Like, seriously, like,
they gave it to Henry Kissinger.
Yeah,
like how much it's worth.
Like, that thing's a sham, dog. Like, and yeah, and I can't say how much I know about Maduro, but I know anybody that is dedicating their Nobel Peace Prize to Trump has to suck a lot more. But there was like a false flag attempt where in Venezuela, where I think DEA agents were arrested by the Venezuelan government. They've got troops off the coast of Puerto Rico, or in Puerto Rico, 10,000. There's 8 surface warships down there and a submarine. including amphibious. Yeah. See, I've heard that Maduro's no Hugo Chavez. He's a tyrant too. I've heard some stuff like that. But it's a shit show down there, and saying that. What dog? Oh my god, I gotta let the dog out. So if you're asking who let the dog out, it's me.
It's you. Well,
Yeah.
one question answered.
Give me just a second.
So yeah, the CIA has an abysmal record in interfering in the Caribbean and Latin America's internal affairs. I mean, just to mention a couple of lowlights offhand, right? Like there was in 1954, the agency orchestrated a coup that overthrew President Jacobo Arbenz of Guatemala, ushering in decades of instability. The CIA backed Bay of Pigs invasion of Cuba in '61 and in a disaster. And the agency repeatedly tried to assassinate Fidel Castro, including with exploding cigars, like something straight out of a cartoon. And none of that worked.
Yeah, they had something like 420 assassination attempts on Castro. Let's hope they keep that same level of professionalism in this situation, I guess.
It's the tip of the iceberg. Like you could write an entire book on CIA interventions in Latin America and how in almost every case, in fact, probably in every case, they led to less freedom for the people who lived in those countries and backing up of right-wing dictatorships because they were anti-communist. And that's when things went well. When things went badly, it was the Bay of Pigs. It was the war in Iraq. Obviously, that's not in Latin America, but that's just kind of an example of what the CIA the caliber of their work.
Yeah, there are some good books out there. I've read The Devil's Chessboard about the Dulles. It was mainly about Alan Dulles. You guys should check out Seth Harp's new book about drug trafficking and murders at Fort Bragg. Chris Hedges interviewed him yesterday. I've heard of that book too. That's on the list. There's also the Jakarta Method. I've been wanting to read that as well. But yeah, so no good. And the just absurdity of begging for a peace prize as they want to land troops in Venezuela, and the Nobel Peace Prize winner dedicating her award to Trump, and she's fucking MAGA, basically. She loves Thatcher and Reagan, and she's a Zionist as well. So pretty perfect. Yeah.
And she won this award because she's not Maduro?
And yeah, basically.
They didn't give it to Juan Guaido. I wonder why not. You remember him? Remember what a joke he was?
That was during their last election, wasn't it?
Yeah. He claimed to be the real president of Venezuela.
Yeah.
And went around trying to get support, which he couldn't get. But like Venezuela's debtors were like calling him and saying, "Hey, if you're the president of Venezuela, then you guys owe us some money." Like they tried to make him a thing, and he wasn't a thing. It was pretty embarrassing for all involved.
Quit making Juan Guaido a thing.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, Obama won the Peace Prize for not being another Republican. Yeah.
Right, they gave it to Obama for essentially for nothing. Like he hadn't really done much of anything except that he wasn't.
Yeah. And then it was all downhill from there. He started off well, and then, I will say, improving healthcare in this country. Definite win. He on that level. He saved millions of people's lives, probably. But yeah, it was like he got elected and then he won a Peace Prize.
Yeah. We still could have done better than a rebranded Romney Care, which is all Obamacare was. Like, we asked for single payer, and we got the Heritage Institute's healthcare plan.
While they controlled everything.
While they controlled everything, exactly. Like, it was a squandered opportunity all around.
Yeah. So yeah, he waited 2 years until they lost Congress to try to do anything good. And
Then he barely tried, yeah. And said, "Oh, we lost Congress. What can we do?" So the Seth Hart book is called The Fort Bragg Cartel. So definitely check that out. The recommendation of our Canadian comrade.
So, and relatedly,
Can I say it's wild that we have a fort named after Braxton Bragg, who's probably the worst Confederate general there was. Literally bought his commission. He paid money for his commission. And then out of like 11 engagements, he lost 9 of them.
that's some aristocracy shit right there.
Right. Literally paid money for his commission. And I don't know who thought it was a good idea to name a base after him.
Well, I think technically now it's renamed after some private named Bragg, because I think it got renamed and then they renamed it again, but back to Bragg, but after somebody else named Bragg. But you know what I'm saying? We know what you're doing. We know what you're doing.
Wow.
But yeah, this kicked off over the past weekend. There was an explosion in Kabul, and the Taliban government, the Afghan government, struck back over the border into Pakistan, and Pakistan fought back. And yeah, so don't have a whole lot of details, but there's apparently been a ceasefire agreed to. Said there's Afghan's capital was rocked by an explosion on Wednesday afternoon. Okay, maybe I misunderstood this. Maybe the Taliban went over the border first, and then this was part of Pakistan's response. But yeah, it's a shit show all over. I do not know. Well, it appears to be the Taliban's attempt at spreading fundamentalism. And I think, they've been at it in Pakistan for a couple decades now, if I recall correctly. But we got that going on. And oh my goodness, I gotta go get the dogs. Now, who let the dogs in? Yeah. Private Bragg, who died bravely at the Battle of Mess Hall. So, are you tracking on this?
Oh yeah, like this is set to reshape the midterm elections. I don't have any faith in this Supreme Court. Like, so the headline is that SCOTUS case could destroy Voting Rights Act and cement GOP control of the House. And so the Supreme Court is currently right now reviewing the case, the arguments against the Voting Rights Act, and we know how the Supreme Court is going to rule. Like, they're a partisan operation. And so yeah, it was Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act, and it was created to prevent overtly racist gerrymanders. And one report estimates that Republicans will be virtually guaranteed an additional 19 seats in the 2026 midterms, which would give them a majority. So it's enough to cement one party control of the House for at least a generation.
Long fight ahead of us, y'all. Yeah, I have no faith in. Oddly enough, they've ruled like 4 like majority black districts recently to be created, but here we are with this. They punted it in March, and now this new session for the Supreme Court started, and it stems from this Louisiana versus Calais case that's going on. But
So yeah, the Section 2 of the VRA outlaws racially discriminatory redistricting.
they're
And
saying that it's racially discriminatory to have redistricting, which
right. The argument is that it's racist against white people.
Mm-hmm. Well, some kind of circular logic with that.
So yeah, Alabama has been ordered by a judge, like just to bring it home a little bit. Alabama has been ordered by a judge to redraw a couple of its districts, but they're waiting to see how the courts will rule in this case, because if they rule against the Voting Rights Act, then Alabama won't have to redraw its districts.
Yeah. And those are the state level districts we're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah. This is an interesting point. They will claim it's based on income, which, of course, is racially skewed. It is.
Right. So the argument is
right here.
Racial discrimination is discrimination.
Yeah. Being fair is discrimination. As they say, what is it? The equality feels like oppression for the privileged.
Right.
But their logic twists the 14th and 15th Amendments, which were themselves created to protect voting rights, in an attempt to destroy them, Flugarth said. The argument should have been laughed out of court. Instead, a lower court embraced it, and an appeal was accepted by the Supreme Court.
And there are entire southern states in which Democratic held seats could be entirely wiped out. Like, they could not only could the state of Alabama refuse to redraw the new districts, but they could easily redraw Sewell's district out of existence.
Yeah. And
that's not just Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, South Carolina. Like, they could lose all Democratic representation.
Yeah. And which seems very much likely to happen. And at the end of the day, this is none of this is good for the working class. I'm not a big fan of the Democrats at all, and they are, capitalists just like the Republicans. And it just shows the need for folks in the U.S. to move beyond these two parties, and it's slowly happening. It's happening here. If you look in the description, there's Robert Hunter running for office, State House, District 28. And, he's working class. He's running on the Democratic line. But He's a DSA member and is, you know, legit. So check him out down there, volunteer, donate if you can, because we know it's rough. Me personally, I would abolish all parties if I had the choice. And no parties can exist at all. That's me. Uh, yeah, we need to distinguish between neoliberals and progressives. There ain't many progressives out there, at the federal level at least. Um, but even, yeah, beyond uh, progressivism. But the there are still good things happening. It's just, like I said, even if Trump went away tomorrow, uh, the fight is not going anywhere for a long time. We got from Philip Lewis. He's a good follow. This group drove 12 hours from Alabama to rally outside of the Supreme Court as it hears a significant case that could undercut the Voting Rights Act.
Right. And so there goes Terry Sewell's district. There goes the 2 new districts in the Birmingham area. There goes all Democratic representation in the state of Alabama. Like, we really will be a one-party state at that point.
Yeah.
And so will Louisiana, so will Mississippi, Tennessee, and South Carolina will lose all Democratic representation. There's at least 19 seats nationwide that would become Republican seats, which is enough to put them in power of generation and claim an electoral mandate in a system that they rig so that they can't lose.
I am curious though, like what these districts would look like, because I read that in Texas that they might have screwed themselves by redistricting because they've weakened other districts, and at the end of the day, it's about getting out the vote, because every time you get out the vote, you pretty much guarantee that Democrats will win. But are these R+1? Are these R+20 districts that'll be? You know what I'm saying? So it'll suck if this happens, but and there's a chance it might not happen. But if it does happen, I like to remind people that 70% of the country didn't vote for Trump. And, shit, O'Rourke, was it? Yeah, out there. Didn't he lose by like 1% that Senate race?
I don't know the percentage. I just know he's a perennial loser.
Well, I think that I can't imagine that with the way things are going, that the Republicans are going to have an easy time in the next set of elections. Now, winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. Vince Lombardi, that quote is such BS and a license to cheat. Yeah. And yeah, publicly funded elections too. No money whatsoever. Hell yeah.
I'm pretty pessimistic about the outcomes of voting, especially in a state like Alabama. And if the VRA is gutted and the districts are redrawn along racial lines, like we will have the form of democracy, but we will not actually have democracy, because there will be no way to vote against the Republican Party in any meaningful sense. Not in this state.
Well, what about if a MAGA oligarch owns half the voting machines? Would that make things a little better?
I don't think it would.
So yeah, Dominion voting systems, they in a deal, they've been bought. and are going to be renamed to Liberty Vote. And who's this guy? Yeah, Scott Leindecker, I guess. Longtime Republican operative with deep ties to Trump's political network. Already controlled the only digital poll books that are literally just giant iPads used to verify voter identities across much of the country through his company, No Ink. Okay. Or is that No I Ink? But yeah, we got this fella right here who now owns half the voting machines in the country. That seems fine.
Yeah, so this is what I'm talking about. We'll have the form of democracy. You'll still be allowed to show up and vote, but your vote won't mean anything, especially not in a state like Alabama. So I'm pretty pessimistic about the outcome of voting. I'm not trying to tell people not to vote, because it may still have some symbolic value to them, especially if the races are close. But in Alabama, they won't be close. They're going to create a bunch of R+20 districts. So
yeah, I don't know if they can do that mathematically though. I don't see how they can. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but you know, there were like 2 point what was it? No, about 2 million people that voted in Alabama, and that was like almost 800,000 voted for Harris. Like, I don't know. I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying it won't suck, but I don't know the exact numbers on this stuff. But you know, they do this, it will definitely impact the elections, and it will probably still, they'll be able to maintain a majority, but you know, that's if you know, you go along with voter roll purges and all the other shenanigans they pull, and you know, getting rid of mail-in voting and all the different little things. You know, I've said before, I don't think we've had a fair election in this country ever, and it seems like it will be much less so in the near future.
yeah, people often say things like, if voting did anything, they would make it illegal. So it must do something, because it's always been illegal for somebody to vote in this country. And now we're returning to a period before we made the modest gains that we've made now. And so I can't be completely down on voting as opposed to anything else. But I'm thinking that it's going to take sustained civil disobedience to accomplish anything from here on out if the Supreme Court guts the Voting Rights Act.
Yeah. So this is, there are things to do, and I'm going to highlight some of these things. One of them is run for office. You're working class, run for office. Yeah. But you also start local. Machine works because it's hidden in plain sight, buried in your county board elections, your city council meetings, your state house backroom. Show up, speak up, demand paper poll books, demand real audits, demand transparency in every contract involving No Ink and Dominion, now Liberty Vote, or any private vendor. Call your county election officials. Ask them directly, are you using No Ink poll pads? Are you using Dominion Liberty voting machines? Who supplies them? Are audits conducted by independent groups or insiders? You have a right to know. Join your local board of elections. Every county has one. Many seats are left empty. They're counting on your absence. Fill the seat. Become an election worker observer. The only way to see what happens at the door, at the machines, and in the counting rooms is to be there. If they want surveillance, return the favor. Screenshot everything. If you or someone you know is purged, delayed, given the wrong ballot, or sees a machine malfunction, document it. This system survives by bearing the evidence. Know your rights. Look up your state's voter protection hotline and save the number. Write it down. Share it. Call immediately if something goes wrong when you try to vote. Organize. Do not just vote. Help others check their registration now and again before election day. If someone is purged, act fast. Many of these purges are happening in real time. And blow the whistle. If you are inside these systems, whether in tech, in government, or a contractor office, and you see something, say something. Do it safely, do it legally, do it now. And we got these folks on Signal at dissentinbloom.78. So, yeah, we need to start getting people, working class folks, in office because they can't take every election, and we got to start at the ground level and keep building. You know, we don't have folks ready. You know, we got some folks running like for Congress that are working class. It's not enough, but we need folks at the Board of Education to protect kids and trans kids and reading materials and develop a better curriculum and make sure kids can read and know what misinformation and disinformation are. The library boards, the, you know, the commissions, all this stuff. Like, we have to, as working class folks, infest the system as best we can, because there are things that can be done, and we can staunch the wave, staunch the bleeding of what's going on, and then start to be able to push back. But it's going to be a long fight, folks. Like, I never expected to be here. I never expected to have to be doing this bullshit. You know, I'd rather be fishing. You know, I'd rather be not doing this fucking podcast. Really, but in the world just progressing towards justice, as I thought it was happening my whole life growing up, but that was incorrect. The entire time it's been going the other way. You know, we had some successes, and then for decades now, you know, going back to even the 1930s, even going back to the 1910s, going back to the 1800s. You know, the other day we looked through starting in the 1600s of strikes and unionization that started in this country before the country was a country. And that's what it is, and that's what it's always been, and that's what it'll always be. We always have to fight until, you know, we ain't got no damn billionaires anymore. We gonna have to keep fighting, folks. So buckle the fuck up. Yeah. Occupy the government as best you can. So, well, do you want to maybe finish with some news on ICE and uh, and then maybe some fun stuff?
Let's do it.
All right. Well, these dumbasses reveal which major U.S. city is next in the crime crackdown while touting success of Operation Summer Heat. Dog, what a fucking terrible name for an operation. But sure. And long story short, they're going to San Francisco.
I'm glad I don't
I
live there anymore.
you know, they've got all these numbers that they've gotten enough fentanyl off the street to kill 55 million people, that would kill 127 million people. They've broken up thousands of gangs, you know, all this shit. But they said that they've found 5,400 missing children, which I don't know how they did that when they've pretty much cut the FBI's manpower on children-related crimes. Operation Dance Fever. Oh, Operation Circuit Party Volume 17. Yeah. But yeah, that's what they're saying. We got a couple thousand guns off the street, but and a few weeks ago there's that big raid where they dragged children. Like, they care so much about fucking children, right? Dragged children half naked out at like 1 a.m. Basically because it was they were asked because of by Wells Fargo because of a foreclosure lawsuit. So they had ICE doing the banker's work. So if you were curious why that happened, and there's your answer. And relatedly, of course, we're gonna keep going. ICE is there's a woman who got stabbed back in 2019 and by her husband, and she was able to get him deported back then, and now they're wanting to send her back and he's waiting for her. He actually already said he's waiting for her. So these are the people we're dealing with. She's got 2 kids, and they're the level of villainy is, I won't say it's unsurpassed because we got Israel out there and all the Zionists and all that shit, but it's up there, folks. Are also just arresting veterans. Growing number of U.S. veterans face arrest over the ICE raid protests. They've arrested 87-year-old, 70-year-old, tons of veterans. This article from The Guardian goes into it at length. But yeah, there's a lot of veterans standing up to this bullshit, and me being one of them. And the folks at Common Defense out there, which is a veteran-led organization. You can join it if you're a veteran. You can also join it if you're not a veteran. They take all comers, and they're very progressive. Like every organization, they have their flaws. The DSA has their flaws as well, but I do endorse them as well if you're interested in working with veterans to make things better, even if you're not a veteran. I'm actually a part of it, so full disclosure there. But there's just tons of veterans that they're scooping up as well. I think there's an estimate that something like 10,000 immigrant veterans have been scooped up. Folks that serve this very flawed country, but they still serve it, and respect to that. But they don't give a fuck. Trump doesn't care about veterans, don't care about folks in the military, don't care about people that want to serve this country, that want to make this country better. They don't care. You are nothing to them, and they will put you in chains as soon as they can. So that's a little bit on the ICE front. So, yeah. Yep. There's some high-profile veterans out there on TikTok and whatnot, but they're out in the streets too. They're out organizing. There's several veterans that were on that flotilla. There's that veteran who whistleblow on what did they call it? The Gaza Humanitarian Aid Group or some shit like that. He was a ex special forces guy. But there are, and everybody can get it, folks. Everybody. ICE could save a lot of money by hiring those immigrants instead of fat alcoholic racists. Well, all those immigrants already got fucking jobs or 2 or 3, So that's on the ICE front. You got anything for that? You got any highlights? There's folks fighting them. There's folks fighting them everywhere they are.
Yeah. Shout out to the people of Chicago and Portland who've been in the news a lot lately for standing up to ICE, and including the Presbyterian preacher in Chicago who was shot in the face with pepper balls.
He's suing their ass, and that's the thing is these folks can be held accountable in civil court for what they're doing. So, and there's more of us than there are of them. We just have to keep resisting and keep organizing and keep connecting with folks. This Saturday, No Kings, about 2,000 cities are going to be protesting. And I encourage folks to go, connect with people, start building mutual aid, working on direct action, electoralism, and building unions and co-ops. Yeah. I think the Democrats should draft an undated indictment of Stephen Miller and publish it. I like that. I heard Pritzker might start arresting agents. We'll see if that happens. And there's, LA County just passed a resolution, or I guess it's counted as a resolution. I can't remember, but they basically, they claimed an emergency situation in LA County to support the somewhere around 3 million immigrant folks that live there with basically mutual aid to help with their rent and food and whatnot. So that's happening in LA County. So this shows you, that right there shows you the importance of being in these quote low level seats and stuff like that as a working class person. So hey, you want to run, get with us. We'll help you figure it out. There's weekly meetings for working class folks working on their campaigns, their electoral campaigns and stuff. But it's going to take us fighting on all fronts. It's going to take all our creativity, our extra energy, our resources coming together, boycotts, strikes, all that stuff. But it can be done because history shows us that it can be done and we can win, because when the working class fights, we win. We just got to keep at it. And I guess I'm done with my rant.
Fair enough.
So yeah, good news with Pritzker hopefully arresting folks, the ICE agents violating constitutional rights, and LA County out there helping the the residents with food and housing and stuff. But a little fun. This is what we're ending on. The best video games from the 2010s.
Got some Skyrim going on there. I was gonna guess Skyrim was probably gonna be on the list.
It's got to be. Yeah,
I
yeah.
bet Hollow Knight is gonna be on there. Portal 2 was really good.
I never got to finish that. I played like maybe a couple levels. I didn't get to finish Portal 1. There's so many like I want to retire and just play some video games for a couple years, but that is not on the agenda anytime soon. Skyrim, I never got to finish.
Skyrim was good. I enjoyed Skyrim. I played it.
I mean, how awesome is that? That giant right
Yeah,
there. That's awesome.
I bet I
Fight,
have 200 or 300 hours into Skyrim at this point.
fighting dragons. Come on.
The Dark Brotherhood. That's my jam.
All right. All right.
Hail Sithis.
Uh, this we got one of these. What do they call them? Switches a couple years ago. And I started playing this, and I'm barely out of the first area, and I haven't picked it up in like a year. But this is fun as hell.
Yeah, I thought Breath of the Wild was okay. I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but it has its moments.
Yeah. What else we got going on? Bloodborne. I've never got to play this. This is one of those like Souls. What do they call it? Souls style.
Souls like.
Yeah. What? Oh, he's got a gun. I don't. Okay, you can get a gun in it. But yeah, another game I've never played. But these games you can get cheap, and if you don't have a nice computer like me, you can probably play it. I've heard good things about this too.
I played about through it.
You played this one?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Okay. There's a new book that just dropped. As a matter of fact, a new Witcher book. Never read any of them, but and it's a Polish author, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I like the TV series. I think they're coming out with the last season, or it's almost out. I've never heard of this one, Persona 5.
I've heard of it, but I never played any of the Persona games.
So, kickstarted the modern JRPG renaissance, the Japanese RPG renaissance. Oh, I like the graphics on it, the styling. What else we got here? Super Mario Odyssey. I've never even heard of this one.
It was a fun game.
What's he doing? Push-ups?
So you have this little hat that you can throw on the enemies and copy their powers.
Yeah, these huge open world games will be the end of us, hours and hours and hours. Yeah. The amount of entertainment available out, is endless, and I'm glad for it on a level, but also like you need to manage that shit, like Netflix binges, keep it to like once a month, once every 6 months, Another game I never got to finish, Fallout New Vegas. I played the hell out of that though, but I didn't get to finish it. I got pretty close though, but damn. And I look forward to the new season coming out. I think they're in New Vegas in the new season. Yeah, exactly. Games are awesome. Movies are awesome. TV shows are awesome. Books are awesome. It's just like it's hard to find balance when like it's like we're fighting, as a reminder, fucking Nazis.
Yeah. I'm surprised Hollow Knight was not on that list. Hollow Knight's one of my favorite games that's come out in the past 10 years.
Oh. And Hollow Knight just had a new I think part 2 come out.
They had a sequel come out. I haven't had a chance to play it yet because I've been busy with other things.
Yeah. One of the kids, they got it the day it came out because they were begging. They're like, please, and it was only like $20, so not like the PlayStation games are like $70 or $80 now. Also, if you missed it in the theaters, K-pop Demon Hunters is coming back, and dress up, dude. They're asking folks to come and dress up. The 10-year-old said, why? That seems lame. But I was like, I broke it down about like, hey, the Rocky Horror Picture Show's got like, it's got a tradition of dressing up and stuff like that. So they're definitely like, I could see them doing this yearly now. And they had this K-pop Demon Hunters as a skit on SNL this past week too. Yeah. Say last little thing. This is from PCGamer.com. It's our biggest quiz yet. How many Steam game genres and subgenres can you name? There are well over 100, so there's something for everybody. Which, as our Canadian comrade said, that's the problem. But there is a game for you out there. What's that? Clash. My partner, she's now hooked on that, like Kingdom Clash something.
Clash of Clans.
Clash. No, I don't think it's a tower defense game, and you got cards that are your units, and they're different, sizes, or 2 elixir, 4 elixir. But
I don't
she
know
tried
that.
to get me hooked on it. Steam it's not a graphics engine, although they do have a graphics engine you can download. It's a platform that houses it's like the Google Play Shop or the App Store or whatever, but it's for video games. There's another one called Epic, and you can get a free game every week on Epic. Usually I haven't done that in forever. But Epic is also the big game store, game front, whatever, for PCs. And then, of course, I think Xbox has a digital one now too, an online one that you can get games from as well. Mm-hmm. PCs, yes. Yeah. Enter an answer. Okay. 15 minutes. No clue. I cannot name. I can name like 5 genres maybe, but there's a lot out there. But yeah, and and before we go, lost Diane Keaton and Jane Goodall and D'Angelo here. Loved his stuff growing up. If you heard that, you know who D'Angelo is, Jay?
The R&B singer.
Yeah. Brown Sugar Babe. That song.
Mm.
He passed away from cancer, pancreatic cancer, and so we've had some losses this year. Of course, Robert Redford earlier in the year. So I hope their families do their best to find some peace with that. As somebody who's lost a lot of family members, I hope they can hold each other close and heal. But thank you for what all those folks have put into this world. Jane Goodall, she like didn't even graduate college. Like she went straight. Yeah, she went straight to a PhD. Like that, this guy, he was some, I can't remember his damn name now. I had it in my head earlier, but he like had 3 or 4 women that he helped mentor, and I think they all got PhDs. But there's there's Lay Lackey, no, Leaky, I can't remember. Anyway, they called them something angels, his angels. But yeah, she went straight to her PhD, and she did, she actually didn't number the the animals. She actually named them and all. She got shit for that, like, but of course, Diane Keaton, great actress. She had she had style and was quite a presence. Whenever she was in film, she was really good too. But see, yeah, wondering why brown sugar was popping up in the feed. So I think it's on the Voodoo album. I can't remember. But yeah, Jay, you got anything else for us?
I think that's it. I didn't have as much time to prepare this today because we're the most
That's all
professional
right.
podcast in the land.
Yeah. Well, you did the church thing tonight, so you know Jesus, you know, uh, appreciates that.
I guess.
But yeah, everybody out there, thank y'all for taking time to hang out. Oh, what was this? I recall, yeah, it was maligned for not staying apart from the primates she studied. Yeah, they gave her a lot of shit on how she did things, but she proved them wrong. But yeah, thank you everybody out there for spending your precious time with us. I hope you learned something. I hope you're out there organizing, being active. I hope you're surviving and finding ways to thrive. Um, keep hope alive, keep resisting. We can win. We always win. We got to stick together, build each other up, educate each other, listen, and love. So as we like to say around here, all the power to all the people. We the people break our chains together. Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Solidarity forever.
Solidarity forever.